Welcome to Visit with Nana and Papa Take 2. This is Nana.
This is Papa. Bet you knew that.
We're going to try this again.
This is Valerie. I'm Jim. For those of you that know Nana and Papa.
Do you want to just go into this and then we'll do live stuff at the end, so if people don't want to hear the live stuff, they can skip it?
Knock yourself out. I already talked. What are you going to say here?
Well, you're going to have to say lots of stuff later. Oh, finished object. This is the Hello Friend vest. And only modification I did was I added increases for shaping. And then I also made a split hem with a longer hem in the back and a shorter hem in the front.
She made one of these for Tania?
No, I did not make one of these.
It wasn't one of those? It looked like one of those. I thought I could have sworn it was.
It's a totally different pattern.
Oh.
Entirely different. The one I made for our friend Tania is a turtleneck at the top, and then you only pick up from here and come down, and you pick up from here and come down.
What's the name of their podcast?
The Breakfast Crew.
The Breakfast Crew. Go check out the Breakfast Crew and see if you can find Tia in a purple top. And she looked really good in this purple top. And if you find the right purple top, that's the one she made.
I will see if I can find a picture and plug it in right here. This is me, so that when I'm editing, I can see, put it in right here. Anyway, so I did finish this. This is made with Kelbourne Woolens Scout. It's supposed to be a vest. It's by Leslie Friend from the Hello Friend, or from A Friend to Knit With podcast. I think on YouTube though it's just under Leslie Friend. If you search Leslie Friend, you'll find her. But this is a pattern that she released recently, and I just thought it was super cute. I'm really glad that I made it. It flew off the needles. I did change it to have the folded collar, and I think that I decreased it or didn't pick up nearly as many stitches as the original pattern. But I've been having problems with my sweaters, like the neckband stretching out, and so I didn't want to. I wanted this to be close up. It's a vest to stay warm. So, but I have decided after blocking it, which I blocked it just recently, that I'm gonna pick up the sleeves and knit actual long sleeves. I have enough yarn to put sleeves on it, and so I'm going to, because I just think I won't wear it as often, because this I could wear when it's cooler, but because of the armhole depth in this, there's no way I could wear this without having something under it.
Not in public.
He thinks I should leave the sleeves off and wear it at home.
You can make it better.
Anyway, I finished this, and I finished these socks, which I need to get in the mail to Socks for Sam. His drive is ended, but I still want to get the socks out to him. I did make one mistake, and what's hilarious is I made the mistake on both socks in different spots. So I made it here. It's supposed to be a Kitchener stitch, but I did the Kitchener inside out.
And that reminds me,
which put like ribbing on it.
Making a mistake in the same spot. Back when I used to play in a band with Tony Grasso, we were playing in a bar, and Tony had played. We both played some of the same songs. Tony had already played "Turn It On, Turn It Up, Turn Me Loose" by Dwight Yoakam, and he made a mistake and screwed up one of the verses. Okay. So I'm giving him a ration of shit about screwing up a song that we've done every night for a long time. The bar chipped in and paid us to do a fourth set. They passed a hat. They paid us more to play a fourth set than they paid us to play the first 3 sets. Okay? But since we're doing a fourth set, Tony's like, hey, why don't you do turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose? I was like, I think I will. By this time, I have had enough tequila to freaking blind anybody. And the girl who was in charge of our band, it was her band, had cut me off. Well, you can't cut me off. All you can do is change my source. And this wonderful little old lady was sitting at the bar, and I'm supposed to be drinking coffee, so I got a cup of coffee sitting in front of me, and this sweet little old lady is just pounding tequila like it's going out of style. So anytime Brandy came over and looked, I'm sipping coffee. This old lady's got tequila stacked up in front of her. Band got to drink for free. I have no idea how I got home that night. But I get up and I do turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose, and I screw it up exactly the same as Tony. So those people in Julian, California, if they ain't heard the song before, they ain't heard it yet. But as far as they know, that's how that song goes, because that's how we both did that song. And that was funny.
Oh, and the yarn in this is Area 51 for the self-striping. The gray is Ted Knits UK, just leftover yarn that was in my stash.
And didn't Aquilla do that for you?
The navy is pallets. She did the tube for me. She made the crank tube, and then I turned the tube into socks, which for me, just doing that is a big deal.
If you like handmade socks, but you don't like the hand-making part of it, get in touch with Aquilla and she'll help you. All you gotta do is put the toes and the heels in it, and you're done.
In the cuff.
Well,
but she has them the cranking service on her Etsy shop, and I'll link the Etsy shop down below. Remind me to put her Etsy shop in there.
Valerie, put the Etsy shop below.
I meant when I'm editing that.
I'm not going to know when you're editing this and when you're at this part. I would have to be sitting there watching you.
I didn't mean that I put it in the screen. I mean that I put it in the show notes that we type up.
Oh.
Is that better? Love of my life. Anyway, I don't have any other finished objects. I do have... I have a lot of whips, but something happened. I did some crochet the other day, and I don't know if it's the crochet or if it's just my arm saying the hell with you, or if it was the moving, because I definitely injured myself during the move. Pulled some muscles, I don't know, but I ended up hurting pretty bad from the move. And yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, I tried to knit like 3 stitches and the pain was excruciating. And so I didn't knit the rest of the night, and it was awful. And then this morning, I didn't want to push anything, so I didn't do much knitting, but I did do one thing. And not all of what you see here is from this morning. Let's be honest about this. But Jem's sock I made a long time ago started wearing out in the heel, so I cut the heel out 2 days ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago, when Tania was here, and I cut the heel out, and then I picked up the stitches and started doing the heel. I think they call it an eye of partridge heel. I don't know what the name of the heel is, but it's my preferred heel. I think that it lasts a lot longer than just the short row heel, but it is, you knit one, slip one across, and then you purl all the way back, and then you knit one, slip one. I've also seen it where people knit all the way across and then they slip one, purl one, slip one, purl one, so they purl less. But it's easier for me because I do it all flat. I don't turn it. I don't actually purl. I knit back left-handed. But I can do one pass where I go across and back, and then I have to stop. So in the last 2 days, 3 days, whatever it's been, I've done one pass and then put it down, and like 5 hours later, one pass front and back and put it down, and then later, a couple hours, 4 hours later, one pass. So this morning I did do one pass early this morning, and then just before recording I did another pass, and that's been the extent of my knitting in the last 2 days. So boring and so sad. But when my arm will let me get back to it, I have put quite a bit of work into Jim's sweater. Now's a good time for you to pull up your picture.
Yeah, I can show my picture.
I finished the hem, and then I picked up stitches for the sleeves and did short rows. So I'm not using a pattern, I'm just winging it.
Ain't that beautiful? If you like my haircut, my wife.
You should show the picture of the side where you can see the
I don't
sleeve.
have the picture of the side.
Oh, I thought you did.
I don't.
So, the cable, I just picked up these stitches for this one, these stitches here, and went back and forth until I got enough stitches to do a cable cross here and here. And then I kept going and got enough to do another cable cross, going back and forth. And then did that cable cross, and then came back and forth again and did one more, but it's a smaller. The last one is just a four stitch, a 2x2 cable cross, and then I joined in the round. And then in between this 4 stitch and then another 6 stitch that's coming up from the bottom is just purl stitches, and that's where I've been decreasing. And then when I run out of space here, then I will start decreasing in between in this stockinette, 4 stitch stockinette at the bottom. And there's no pattern, it's just me winging it with no idea if it's right or wrong, but hopefully when I tried it on, it seemed to fit nicely, so I'm hopeful that it's okay. So that's, oh, and that is using Knit Pick Swish DK, which is 100% superwash DK. And then I have this, which is a test knit, and it's stuck somehow on my other project. Sorry about that, y'all. This is a test knit for Hinterm Stein. I have a long way to go. I did join it in the round. Join in the round. And when I did, I tried it on and it was super tight in the arm, so I ripped it back and I added 7 more rows on the back, or 6 more rows on the back, and then put it back in the round. And I have not yet tried it on, so right now I need to put it on barber cord and try it on to see if it fits. Hopefully it does, but who knows. And then I also have been working on this sweater, but it I don't know that anybody would notice how much because it's not that much, but this is my For the Love of Brioche jacket, and I have split for sleeves, and I have this much below split for sleeves, so it's not that exciting. I'll go ahead and move my progress marker so the next time we actually talk about it, I'll know where I left off, and that's assuming I get to knit again.
This is what's going on my computer right now. That's my screensaver. You piece of booger. Anyway.
He likes it. He has fish
It's my
without
aquarium.
having to, he has a fish aquarium without having to feed them or clean the tank. And then in the realm of fixing things, I decided to cut the sleeves off of this and add ribbing much sooner. So I cut it off and brought it back, and now I am knitting the sleeves, knitting the ribbing on smaller needles, and in hopes to have this back in use. Unfortunately, I can't knit at the moment, so I have lots of works in progress or lots of things to do and not able to do them. I'm sure there are other projects here that I'm not thinking of that are on the needles, although I can't think of anything else. Oh, the Hoodola.
Oh yeah, she making this for the cold, but now she's making it just to sleep because I have sleep apnea, so I have to wear a CPAP. That's annoying as shit for me, but it's even worse for her because it turns out this thing blows a solid stream of cold air on her neck all night long, and she puts a pillow in between us. So I get to see her before I go to sleep, and as soon as I put my machine on, she's done with me. She puts a pillow and tries to protect herself. And yeah, I understand completely because I put my hand up there like, wow. And she's like, I woke up and my head is freezing. I'm like, why am I so cold? I know it's cold in the house. And then she looked over at me and she's blowing her in the face like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, so I have finished the hood part, and I'm on the ribbing part that goes down below. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not knitting right now. So, and honestly, this may be also part of the reason, because I am holding 2 strands of the ReRum Natura Ulysse, which they say is sport weight, but I think, fingering weight, but I think it's sport weight. And so, but either way, I'm holding it double, and I'm knitting this on a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. And so I'm already a tight knitter, so this is dense. But I mean, if you're gonna make a hood to go over your head in the winter, you don't want loose fabric. But when you're knitting dense fabric and you're knitting, it means that there's a little more pressure on your hands. The good part is the yarn is really stretchy, so it's not as bad as if it were cotton. But either way, my right hand, it's not my right hand, it's my right wrist, my right elbow, and my right shoulder are all really, really angry with me at the moment. And So anyway, I will have this done at some point, and then I'll be able to put it on at night when I go to sleep so that I'm not dying. The good news is that when I'm having my hot flashes, that cold air blowing on me feels really good. It's just when I'm not having hot flashes and it's cold outside, that cold air is not. Mm-mm. So it just depends on the weather outside and whether I'm having one of those personal summers or not. Yeah, that's it. That's all the projects that I have been working on of late that I can even think of. Oh, I know it's not. I did start. I'm gonna go get it. I'll be right back. You could say something.
I could.
I could edit though too.
Let's see. Oh, what? She's back. I had to. I'll share another picture with you. Ignore my pasty white feet. Oh, you piece of monkey shit.
Turn it the other way, and it'll be best.
Yeah, there was a quick flash. I had her come take a picture of it. First time in over a decade, my fat ass has been under 200 pounds. Today marks the occasion of being 40 pounds lighter than I was in August when we started taking food out of my diet because it hurts my feet. So everybody's like, how'd you lose weight? I have the perfect weight loss plan for everybody in the world. Eat whatever you want. If it makes you happy, eat it. But as soon as you get done eating it, take off your shoes and take a Bic lighter. And if you had gluten, if you had sugar, if you had high fructose corn syrup, if you had potatoes
or corn,
or I get away with corn most of the time.
Sometimes.
But potatoes never. If you had beef, then you take that lighter and however much you had, you run that lighter up and down your feet until your feet are smoking hot and they hurt like hell. And then the next time you want to have that, think about how much your feet hurt. And if you still want to have it, you eat whatever the hell you want, but as soon as you're done, you break out that lighter and you torch your feet. And sooner or later, you're going to be going, you know, that shit just ain't worth eating. I love cherry cheesecake. Good stuff. Strawberry cheesecake. Raspberry cheesecake. What's the common element in there? Cheesecake.
Sugar.
Sugar. They are all tasty. But you know what they do? They light me up. I love beef.
Yes, but we have managed to make hot cocoa using whipping cream, cocoa, and your monk fruit, whatever, and been able to have hot cocoa that doesn't hurt you. So I'm just saying there are things out there that you found.
There are workarounds. They're not great workarounds, but eventually you get used to them. That's like giving your kids diet soda, and the day you actually give them real soda is the day you screwed up because now they know that soda doesn't taste like ass.
Anyway, I started, it's called Caron Colorama Haze, and I have these two skeins, and so my intention is to make a shawl where it gets bigger in this, and then once I'm halfway, then I'm gonna switch to this color and make the other half in this color. So that's my plan. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do, but at the moment that's my plan. However, and it's following the Dauntless pattern. However, as per usual, I modified it because I don't like shawls without a nice border. And I really like an I-cord border that you make as you're going. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to come back and make a border. You just make it with the border on it. So I added stitches so that it has 3 stitches at the beginning and at the end that are I-cord. So I don't have to come back and mess with it. Anyway, so I do have an I-cord border on both sides. And that's it. That's all the excitement. But I started it, and then, like I said, I can't knit at the moment. And this may be part of the problem too, because this yarn is acrylic, and acrylic hurts my hands a lot more than wool. So just choosing to work with this yarn could be, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm against using inexpensive yarns in any way. I do not think that choosing wool over acrylic means that I'm choosing expensive over cheap. Because I feel that the whole super soft that I like so much is definitely not, I think it's a lot cheaper than getting that fisherman's wool from Walmart, because I can get a whole kilo of it. Anyway, it's definitely not way more expensive. It's not a high-end, super expensive hand-dyed $30 skein yarn. There is that out there, and there's nothing wrong with using that yarn. I'm just saying that I know that people choose to use acrylic because it's available to them and it's inexpensive. I'm just stating that for me personally, acrylic hurts my hands more than wool hurts my hands. And so this could be, and I did crochet with the acrylic yarn. And so that could be part of the reason why my hands hurt. Or it could be the injuring my arms during the move. I don't know. But I want to knit again. Now, I'm very, very proud of you on your food changes. I'm not because I want you to suffer, but because I don't want you to suffer.
I don't want me to suffer either. But I would like to enjoy food, but yeah.
But we both know we can start being creative and finding recipes that we like that are not harmful.
I just make the decision to hurt on occasion. Like on Tuesdays when Kentucky Fried Chicken has 8 pieces of legs and thighs for $10. I know it's going to hurt me. But I don't eat all the skin, and I don't eat all the flour and breading and everything. But I do eat all the chicken.
But you could just as easily go to H-E-B and get their original rotisserie chicken that has no sugar in it. And you can eat that and not suffer. It's not as good as your...
Exactly. If I wanted that, I would have that. But I wanted Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Is, your Kentucky Fried Chicken hurts you, and there are days that you have told me afterwards it wasn't that great.
It is. You have to be selective.
I'm thinking if I'm going to torture myself, I'm going to torture myself with something really damn tasty.
Before it disappears, I'm probably going to have a McRib, even though it's going to tear me up and something fierce. I like a McRib. That's probably my favorite sandwich at McDonald's Persecutes. And it's not even a real rib. It's just fatty pork. Bad for me. Very bad for me. But fatty pork and McDonald's barbecue sauce and some pickles.
That's not nasty.
That's a winning combination for me.
Not.
You don't like it, but that's okay. More for me. But
anyway,
I don't go there anymore because it's just not worth it. I miss pork. So one of these days I'm going to buy a a chunk of pork loin.
But we should make pork loin and make it a roast.
Strip all the fat off from it. And
slow cook the roast in some green chili.
I'll make you pork and green chili when you ask me to.
I know, but you could make a pork and green chili with the roast that doesn't have any of the fat in it, and then you could have some because you do like it.
I like just pork chop too. I'm thinking if I just cut all the fat off of it, I'm going to try and have me a pork chop one of these days. See how badly
have it on a grill.
Yeah.
I love grilled pork chops. I used to make a mean grilled pork chop. I miss it. Anyway. But we are eating different. I wasn't, but I have joined him in the no sugar, no flour. And right now I am going to be eating.
She's still eating bad stuff.
No, what is the cereal you got for me?
Wheaties? No, the brand.
No. We found a cereal that I like that it's used to
shredded wheat.
Yeah, so we used to get shredded wheat in
whole grain shredded wheat.
It doesn't have, it's just wheat. And I'm gonna try it because wheat does not give me pain. But I'm not gonna be having any of the other stuff and nothing with the sugar in it. Definitely nothing with high fructose corn syrup.
So far the non-gluten pastas.
We haven't tried the chickpea yet.
We had a red lentil spaghetti last night.
Not my favorite.
Not my favorite. It was also with that watery ass sauce that I showed you. So
it could have been the sauce that...
No, it was still the texture of the... You cook and cook and cook and it doesn't get anywhere beyond al dente.
He
not
likes
my favorite.
Softer pasta.
I like softer pasta.
But not mush.
Some people like their pasta crunchy. I don't. I like softer pasta. But this is not my favorite. Back when we actually got to see our grandchildren, she was, what, 3?
Yeah.
3 years old, our oldest grandchild,
3,
who is a teenager now. When she didn't like something, she would tell you it's not her favorite. Well, we come to visit. We didn't know this translation. And I made her something to eat, and she said, Papa, that's not my favorite. I said, I don't care if it's your favorite, eat it. And it's still food. Because she said she was hungry. I think it was macaroni and cheese, and I made her some mac and cheese. And it's not my favorite. She started crying. I'm like, what's the matter? It's not my favorite. And I'm like, well, what the hell? And lo and behold, turns out not my favorite is code for this is shit. I'm not eating it. I hate this shit. Don't make me eat this.
This is nasty. This is awful.
And
horrible,
her papa, who's
shit.
supposed to love her and be her source of happiness and joy in life, is telling her, I don't care if it's not your favorite, eat it. So he's basically saying, I don't care if this tastes like ass and you hate it, you're going to eat it. Which is not something that Papa would do. But he did. So,
made you feel so bad.
We have come to... We use not my favorite a lot just as a tribute to Bugs.
Miss them.
Anyway.
So I don't know how much making I'm going to get done. Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
I don't know if we talked about getting on
this real quick. The reason I even started this is because it's the Dauntless by Vincent of Visuvious Crafts, and it was my attempt to join the Black History Month make-along from the Black Knitter. Her podcast will be linked below, as well as she is also on Instagram as the Black Knitter, and she is hosting a make-along, which she pretty much, it's trying to, all year round, all the time, she tries to lift up and bring notice to makers of color, black makers especially, but she really tries to take the marginalized group that is not getting the exposure on social media that white businesses do get, and she's trying to do her part. And so if you can and are able, join us. You can make something using yarn that was dyed by a black maker. You can use project bags that were made by black makers. You can use a pattern that's by a black designer. Any of those things or all of them at the same time. I think you can also, there's a local shop to her, which is Harps and Thistles, and Harps and Thistles has a yarn every year that they dye up for the month of February for Black History Month, and it's always based on a historical figure who has been overlooked by our history studies. And then the proceeds for that yarn is being donated to a black nonprofit organization to help them. And so I think you can also use that yarn if you choose to. But anyway, forgot to mention that.
But now, okay, back to our change in diet. Most of what I can eat without causing me gross pain is vegetables. Unfortunately, thanks to the tariffs, now it's going to be really, really expensive, just really expensive to get fresh vegetables. So my baby doll had broke her green thumb back out because we actually have a patio that faces to the south, east, and a patio that faces to the west. So we can do morning sun and evening, afternoon sun.
And in our bedroom, we have some stuff that's doing south sun.
Sprouts. We have alfalfa sprouts growing in the bedroom, in the window.
Alfalfa and broccoli.
But anyway, so right now, over in the Amazon area, we are currently growing 72 seeds in little seed pods with a light on them. And as soon as those sprout and get healthy and the temperature outside ceases to go down below shit at night, we will transplant them. I bought her a little stacker planter thing that's for strawberries. We only have one strawberry plant, but that could change. I don't eat strawberries much because the seeds get in my dental work and cause me to have fits. So, yeah. But we planted all kinds of vegetables. Some of them are single shot vegetables like radishes.
Yeah, some radishes and some carrots.
And Tia and Cake, I will have to ask them for some 2-liter bottles because they drink soda, we don't. So you take a 2-liter bottle and you put a carrot in a 2-liter bottle, or you put 2 or 3 carrots in a 2-liter bottle, and they got 2 liters of room to grow a carrot in. Works.
Yeah, you can put it on this.
Then you can put it out on your shelving unit and let your carrots grow. We got cabbage, not a lot of cabbage. We're trying to get everything to sprout, and if it works, move it outside and start growing our own vegetables. We got some mild jalapenos for me. We got some crazy ass hurt yourself jalapenos for her, because some of us have more sense than others.
Hey, I like a little heat in my food.
Yeah, I used to love a lot of heat in my food,
but
as I get old, that changes. And guess what? I read a study that aging is not linear. Aging happens in blocks. When I turned 40, all of a sudden I could not see for shit and I needed bifocals. And I quit being able to digest pork. 40 is one of the milestones when you age rapidly. Guess what the second milestone
60.
is? 60.
Welcome. But you're doing things that can reduce the signs of aging. You're losing weight, you're eating healthier, and you're moving more. All of which can reduce the effects of aging. So good for you.
Yeah.
And you're moving your wife in that direction, which is good for me.
Good for you.
I love you.
Thank you, beautiful.
So, I have not been reading books at the moment. I have the 3rd book in the 4th Wing series, but I can't I just can't. And we were watching some shows.
Well, we were watching Blue Bloods, and we really enjoyed Blue Bloods up until season 7.
Season 7. And season 7 has just been... And I don't know how much of it is the show and how much of it is life, but the combination is just not... It's not meshing well for me.
Well, the last episode that we watched, they explicitly basically came out and said the only way to be a good cop is to have the ability to break the law. You have to be able to break the law to enforce the law. And that's not my game.
And not only that, it was somebody had stepped forward to say that he had seen where in more than one precinct where they were expecting
they were framing people.
Expecting the officers to frame someone for a petty, whatever.
A minor
infraction or whatever.
No, a kid. But, they take a minor, bust him for having alcohol, knowing that he can't. And then they say, we'll let that go if you'll be an informant for us. So now they own this kid for the rest of his life because he was 18 years old drinking a beer with his friends.
Right, and not just that, but I mean, because the kid couldn't afford to get himself to the court appearance, and because he didn't show up for court appearance, that then becomes a bigger issue and becomes a bigger thing, and then the cop says, well, let me see if I can talk to the DA and I'll help you out. And then when he does that, then it becomes he owns the person, and then the person becomes an informant, but they're not doing it because they want to. And that they've been doing this systematically for decades and decades and decades, and they wonder why the community doesn't trust them, can't stand them, and anyway. Long story short, it just really made me angry. I already know I don't... And maybe they were doing it so that they could pivot towards something else, or maybe they were doing it to really say that it's okay, and I really don't care, because it's not okay, and I couldn't. So, we aren't watching that anymore. And then,
We watched Area 31, or wasn't it Area 31 or something 31, the new Star Trek movie?
I think it's Area 31 or something 31, Section 31.
Section 31.
The Star Trek movie, and I love the character Philippa
Giorgio.
Yeah, who is played by
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, I love the character. I was super excited at the very beginning of the movie. There was a narrator, and I knew just from listening that it was Jamie Lee Curtis. I knew the voice. I knew who it was. I was over the moon excited. In fact, I was giddy, and he's looking at me like I'm a crazy person, because I was, yes! And he's
wasn't
like,
the
there's
first time,
nothing
won't
else.
be the last time.
Nothing's happening. It's just the credits, and there's this voice. You can't see what's happening, and I'm already excited. And so I was happy from the very first second all the way to the end of the movie. A, because it was a Star Trek movie. B, because of who was in it. But I will say that at the end, when it was over, I was disappointed.
It was really, truly meh to me.
There really wasn't very much development. There wasn't, it was, from the beginning, you kind of knew what was going to happen. And you already knew that there's no way that this could happen, because you already knew what happened way forward in the future. Do you know what I mean? Because of the other episodes and the other shows that have had, and Discovery and whatever that are happening in the future, you already know that in this particular timeline, what's supposedly going to happen if they don't manage to save it didn't happen. Like, it was just such a big event that it would have been something that you would have already known had happened, you know? I don't know how else to explain it.
It's like
So
somebody is going to prevent Yellowstone from erupting in 1902. The fact that you've been in 2025 and Wyoming's still there, they were successful.
yeah, so that part was kind of
Therefore, there's no drama.
And if it had been something that was smaller that wouldn't have necessarily been on the radar, then it would have been more dramatic, I guess.
Wiping out the human race, pretty high on the radar.
Then, I don't know, just moments that happened that weren't necessary. Like, there was a character that was... Anyway, it just... As far as I'm concerned, still love Michelle Yeoh and will forever and ever and ever. And I think that her character was still a great character. But the movie itself was lacking.
Not my favorite Star Trek.
But I'm still super happy that I got to see Jamie Lee Curtis in a movie, and I got to see Michelle Yeoh, and I got to see both of them in the same movie. Also made me very happy.
Again. Well, you never saw them in the same movie because I told you didn't want to see that movie.
You told me not to see everything all at once. But I do like
it would not be a good movie for my wife to see.
So, I am thinking about, because I do want to read, but I need something light and not dark. Like, there's no way I could read Lord of the Rings or...
I have been struggling to read Christopher Paolini, the author of Aragon and the Inheritance series, which I enjoyed. He wrote some really long space opera stuff, fractal stuff, I believe, Fractal Noise. The first book was like 1,800 pages. I don't know. It was huge. And it took me months to get. I had to borrow it from the library 3 times.
Wow, that's not like
to get through it. I'm on my second borrow of Fractal Noise, and I'm not only like 28% through the book. It's a chore to read this. It's not interesting. It's not fun. It's not funny.
Why are you reading it?
Because I've already committed 28% to it.
Life is too short for that crap.
It's not like you're reading... okay, you can pick up any Stephanie Plum book. You don't have to follow them in order.
That's what I'm thinking about doing.
You can just pick up any Stephanie Plum book and you can read it and you can laugh. And you can... It doesn't matter. You can laugh at the stupid shit that she does and doesn't die. You can laugh at Grandma Mazer and be amazed at Aunt Grandma Mazer. Part of Mazer is a mazerine. That old woman still reads.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to... I'm going to try through the library to see if I can go back to book 1 and read all the way through the Stephanie Plum series.
You can do that. And, you can... I've read the Iron Druid series 3 times all the way through because... If you
I just finished the third time through those not too long ago. But I just needed something funny, and I can't do anything that's even kind of dark right now.
You can't do the Iron Druid because it does have some darkness in it, but it's got a lot of light and joy.
I don't find it to be the same darkness, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, to me...
That's like...
To me, Lord of the Rings has a lot in common with what's happening right now. Yeah. To me...
Oh, the Rings of Power is what she's talking about. We still haven't finished watching the Rings of Power.
But I'm just saying, the Lord of the Rings, the same need for power, the same...
Well, it was written in a time when fascism was on the rise, so...
I'm just saying, same. I can't... I have no desire right now to watch any of the Star Wars stuff because it feels just too much like current. Oh, that made me laugh. What did she call it? Somebody called it something.
The orangutan pumpkin or something like that.
Oh, that makes me so mad. It was such good. There was a nickname that we were told the other day, and it was hilarious, and now I can't remember it. So Tania, tell me again because I forgot. Anyway, but I'm not in a space right now where I can handle watching or reading anything that puts me feels current, feels like I'm there. I'm reading to get away from it. I want to watch something to get away from it.
This is take two. We didn't have the speaker on earlier, so I don't know if we talked about our dryer in take two. I know we talked about it in take one. See, with the guy that we paid to move our boxes the first time, well, he had a gig going on before us, and whoever he moved before us had a dryer that they were going to give him, but he didn't have anything to do with the dryer, so he didn't want it. But then he helped us move and said, y'all need a dryer. I can get you a dryer. So we'll take it. It's not a great dryer. It's an old dryer. It doesn't make the buzzy sound at the end of the dryer, and I'm perfectly okay with that because you know what? If you hear ta-dunk, 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 you know the dryer's running. We quit hearing that shit, you know the dryer quit. You don't need a to tell you ta-dunk, 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 quit happening. You can hear ta-dunk, ta-dunk, gone. Time to take clothes out of the dryer. But the wash area is directly across from the bathroom with the walk-in shower. Great stuff. I love it. Thank you. Now you can take a towel and a robe, and you can throw them in the dryer, and you can set it to go in. You can go in and you can scrub your ass, and you can get yourself all squeaky clean. And then this person who loves you will hear the water cut off, and she will go and take your towel and your bathrobe out of the dryer and hand them to you.
One at a time.
And you have this hot towel that you can dry off with. And when it's really freaking cold, that's glorious. Even when it's not cold, it's still pretty damn fine. If you have not dried off with a hot towel, try it. It's gorgeous.
Because when I am in my personal summer, then I'm taking a cold shower and I don't want no damn.
When she's in her personal summer, it's my personal winter. So, yeah. That's why I have sweaters made for me by Mademoiselle Personal Summer. But it's great. I love having that right across from the bathroom. So I have a hot towel and I have a hot robe, and you fold those up, and it don't matter how cold the house is because you're not.
This is true.
This house has like 10, 12 inches of insulation above us in the roof, so way freaking better than the last place. And setting the thermostat at 65 here is actually a decent temperature. Setting the thermostat at 65 over at the other hellhole, not so much.
So I think you should ask if any of the people watching have a favorite sugar-free, gluten-free recipe to share with you.
What she said.
Hey, because you used to love experimenting in the kitchen. Now you're just experimenting again.
I can do that. But first, got to get finished getting the kitchen all set up.
Yeah, it's a mess right now.
We aren't quite there yet, but we're getting there.
Anyway, I am tired. Did we get over everything?
I think we did. Besides, we're almost at an hour. And an hour of us is plenty of us.
Yeah, too much.
My arthritis is chewing me up and spitting me out. But that's life. I'm about to go and fix me something to eat because it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I have not had anything to eat today and I'm hungry.
I was going to make you some chili, some chicken chili. Is that okay? I got the chicken to make it. To make chili for you that's not too spicy and doesn't have anything that can hurt you in it.
Okay. I'll try it.
I thought that would make you happy. If we make it from scratch, it won't have any badness in it.
Mm-hmm. And the hot kisses, that'll make me really freaking happy.
I'll work on it.
There you go.
Have a good day, everyone.
Hasta.